Is inventory or interest rates the bigger story this month? Stick around and find out next. Hey RT family, Ryan Reynolds here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty in your June 2024 real estate market update. Now, of course, here in June, we talk about the statistics that happened in May and then even maybe in some months prior to that. And the three main statistics we typically like to focus on are going to be your inventory levels, how many houses are for sale, your interest rates for your mortgages. And typically we'll fix on the 30-year fixed mortgage because we want to look at that and see where it is every month because most people are going to get those. And the third thing we're going to look at is home sale prices. Are they up or down compared to last year? Everybody wants to know about those home sale prices. So we're going to get into things right now and we're going to kick it off with inventory. So with inventory this month, I kind of played a trick on you because I asked the question in the teaser, was the inventory more important or a bigger story this month or the interest rates a bigger story? And the answer is going to be both. And we'll kind of talk to you here a little bit about that now. So when we look at inventory for this month, right now today being middle of June here, June 12th, actually I'm recording this, and we're right around 3,100 houses on the market. And when we look at last year, we were right around 2,000 or a little over 2,000 homes on the market at this exact time. And what that says is a 50% increase in the inventory. Now, it's only 1,000 houses difference in the entire greater Columbus area. However, that is a fairly significant number being 50% larger. So I don't like to pay attention too much to the actual numbers, but I like to look at the trends. So the numbers going up in terms of inventory this month. And that's actually a good thing for buyers, probably not a terrible thing for most sellers because they're probably also buyers. And it's definitely a good thing for the market because the more inventory that's there, probably the more transactions that can happen and more people can move. Now, when we look at May's inventory compared to April, I kind of was wondering if that 50% might have been an anomaly from May of 2024 back to 23. But when we look at May to this year of April, we're still up 23%. So then I started to look and figure out what could possibly explain that. And what's going to actually be the answer to that question is our next topic, which is interest rates. So when we look at interest rates, mortgage interest rates, again, focusing on the 30-year fixed mortgage, what had happened from the last, really from the 1st of April until now, is a little bit of a roller coaster. So around the 1st of April, we got some economic news that was actually better probably for the economy, which means worse for interest rates. And so interest rates jumped up from about 6.99 up to about 7.3, 7.4, and sometimes I think it might even peaked up around 7.5 at some point. But since then, they've fallen until about the middle of May. They fell back down to like 6.99 for like a day. Then we got some more bad information. It bopped back up about 7, 7.25. 7.25, somewhere in that range. And then finally here we're on the 12th of June and the rates have come down in the last day or two to where they're now just below 7. And so all this data comes from Mortgage News Daily. Highly recommend that you check them out if you're really a nerd like me and want to know more about interest rates. But that's a great place to look and where I think where we get the data. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is that with interest rates falling, we're probably going to expect to see the market pick up. And so if we kind of tie some of those two numbers back together, the inventory has come up probably because the interest rates had come up. That precludes some people from being able to buy, and so there's less demand, and that means with all the new houses coming on with the end of school, there's been sort of a temporary blip, I think, of, I don't want to say a glut of homes, but of an extra little bit of inventory of homes that we hadn't seen in a while. Now, from a technical standpoint, we're still in a seller's market in almost every area. It's that being defined as less than 4 months of inventory, and we're still sitting at like maybe a half a month of inventory, something like that in most places. So not a huge news story unless you're focused on the actual percentages, but nonetheless, that's kind of how those two things tie together. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the one thing that everybody really wants to know about, and that is home prices. Now, if you recall last month, home prices were up 5.9%, which is just below 6, obviously, because that's how math works. And this month, it is actually just a touch lower. Year over year, our number is at 5.8%. So what does that mean? Not a whole lot statistically. I mean, we just came back down a little bit year over year. It could mean that last year was a little stronger year because, again, as we looked at the amount of inventory compared to last year, we had about 2/3 of the inventory we have on the market this year. And so with less inventory, you get a little higher prices. And so when you compare the year over year rise in sale prices, well, we're really looking at two separate things, two lines. We're measuring the distance between those two lines, and both of those lines are moving all the time. So That is the answer, 5.8% more than it was worth last year. So last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go, we have a Zoo Pass giveaway coming up here in the month of June. You need to register by June 23rd. You can check out our Facebook page to register and get details on how to do that. If you don't want to go to the Facebook page, you can go to rrtvip.com, get yourself registered, and we will enter you into the drawing. And what we're giving away, by the way, is not just a 4-pack of passes to the zoo for a whole year, but it's a 4-pack of passes to the zoo and to Zoombezi Bay. So weather's heating up, so if you want to get some way to cool down, get your entry in, and hopefully you win and get to go. Otherwise, you may just have to pay and go because it's getting pretty freaking hot. So that's all I have for you this week. As always, RRT family, that is Ryan Reynolds here with the Ryan Reynolds team at Keller Williams Consultants Realty. Unlimited opportunities and exceptional experiences.